Welcome to FFT and 5. I'm Chris Towers. I'm here with Heath Cummings, who hosts the Fantasy Football Today Dynasty podcast, Dynasty video show on the Fantasy Football Today YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. That happened on Tuesday afternoon. It's every Tuesday at 11 a.m., right?
11 a.m. Eastern. That's correct.
Make sure you check that out. Make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy Football Today YouTube channel, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday, to get all of our video content right there. And Heath, we'll start off this episode with the obvious Dynasty running back question, which is, how many running backs would you not trade right now straight up for the number one pick in a rookie draft, which presumably will be Texas running back Bijan Robinson?
How many would I not trade? I think that answer is probably zero. There are certain circumstances where I'm going to say in a vacuum, it's zero. If I was a true contender this year, I would have a hard time trading McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor, like those guys who are both top 5 dynasty backs and top 5 redraft backs. If I was a rebuilder, I would trade every single one of them. And I think if I'm in the middle, I would trade every single one of them. He is an elite prospect. He is 21 years old. He's good at catching the football. Everyone seems to agree he's going to be a workhorse running back. That's pretty close to the most valuable thing in fantasy behind Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
And he's likely to get first-round draft capital, which means he's probably going to be on a team for 5 years, which that kind of certainty over the long term is pretty unlikely for most running backs. So, yeah, that seems like a safe bet. Let's move on to the buy, sell, or hold portion of the show, and we'll start off with a player who I think whose value for both 2023 and Dynasty is taking a real hit, and that's DeAndre Swift. Buy, sell, or hold right now?
I'm not buying. I guess there's somebody they're always price dependent, but I'm assuming his value is somewhere around RB 15 to 20. I think I had him at RB 19 in my most recent rankings. He'll probably be at 21 after the NFL draft. I can understand holding, but it's a bit of a ticking time bomb because I really think that the path to something good happening for DeAndre Swift is likely that he gets away from Dan Campbell and out of Detroit. That probably doesn't happen until after next year. So you may be holding him and getting something similar to A.J. Dillon production for the next year in hopes that he turns into a feature back after that. And I just don't think we have very much evidence that very many running backs make that leap, especially when they've already been given the opportunity to be a full-time back and struggled to stay healthy. I've just talked myself out of the hold. I'm selling DeAndre Swift.
What would you be looking to get for him? If you could get a second-round rookie pick, would you move DeAndre Swift?
I would not trade him for a second-round rookie pick. I would need to get a first-round pick, but if you would have asked me this question a year ago, it probably would have taken 101 to get DeAndre Swift. It might have taken 101 and then some to get DeAndre Swift. Right now, I'd be pretty happy with like the 7th or 8th pick in the draft.
What about Javonte Williams? He's coming back from that torn ACL. A lot of questions with him. We'll know a lot more about his 2023 value, certainly, come training camp, but I don't know how much that'll change his dynasty value. Buy, sell, or hold Javonte Williams right now?
Yeah, we may know a lot more about his 2023 redraft value in like a month if the Broncos also add a running back in the draft in the first couple of rounds. I'm more willing to hold Javonte Williams as a rebuilder just because he is a couple years younger than DeAndre Swift. He has not had as many injuries, even though the injury he had was far more significant. I'm kind of viewing his 2023 similar to what J.K. Dobbins' 2022 was. I still have hope for Dobbins. Williams is still a top 12 dynasty running back for me at this time. I just think he's I'm buying and holding and willing to hold as a rebuilder. I think if you're contending this year, you might see what you could get for him. But I would need a top 5 rookie pick to trade him away.
And now I think I know, at least from a dynasty perspective, how you're going to answer this question. But what are we doing with Tony Pollard? Buy, sell, or hold?
I think right now would be an excellent time to go sell Tony Pollard, probably before the NFL draft, because I kind of think the Cowboys are going to draft somebody to share with him. He's only got one guaranteed year as the lead back in Dallas. He's going to be 26 years old at the start of the season, so you're hoping that he has maybe two at the very most 3 years. And people view him, because he's not had the starting role, as someone that maybe has a longer runway than he does. So sell on Tony Pollard. I would rather have Javonte Williams than Tony Pollard in Dynasty, and he and DeAndre Swift are back-to-back for me. So I think Pollard's obviously better for contenders because he'll be better this year, but I'm not sure he's any better long-term. Yeah,
if you're rebuilding, I think you'd rather just take a flyer on DeAndre Swift having, a longer runway than Tony Pollard, at least. So that makes sense. And that's going to do it for FFT5. Make sure you go to cbssports.com/fantasy/football. Check out the Dynasty Fantasy Football landing page that has all of Heath Cummings' Dynasty content for 2023 and beyond. And we'll talk to you next time on Fantasy Football Today in 5.